This woman is the most wanted woman in Africa. She is on the wanted list of both the CIA and Interpol. She was once a shy girl from a quiet English town. Now, she's one of the most hunted women on earth. Linked to secret plots, fake passports, and deadly attacks across continents, her transformation shocked even those closest to her. In this video, we are going to go deep into the story of Samantha Louise, the woman they call the White Widow. Now please subscribe to us if you haven't done that already. The channel is book number 7 and my name is Nana Kwesi. Now to the story. Samantha Louise Lewthwaite was born in 1983 in Banbridge, County Down, to Andrew and Elizabeth Christine Lewthwaite. Her father had served in the British Army, specifically in the 9th to the 12th Royal Lancers, and there he met her mother while stationed in Northern Ireland during the 1970s. Now, not long after she was born, the family then moved to Northern Ireland for a brief time where her father got to work as a truck driver. Now, eventually, they settled in Aylesbury in England. There she attended Elmhurst Middle School and later the Grange Secondary School, which are both located in Aylesbury. And after completing her secondary education, she proceeded to enroll at the School of Oriental and African Studies at the University of London to study politics and religion. Although she didn't get to complete the program and eventually had to drop out from college. And so in the year 1994, Samantha's parents separated. Those who were close to her would later say that the separation had a significant emotional impact on her, and she reportedly found comfort among some Muslim neighbors whom she saw as having a stronger and a more stable family structure. Though she had been raised as a Christian, by the age of 17, she finally embraced Islam and took on the name Sherafiyah. She came into contact with Jermaine Lindsay through the internet, and they agreed to meet in person at a Stop the War event in Hyde Park that's situated in London. The two of them were married in Aylesbury on October 30th, 2002, where they adopted their Islamic names as Mantara and Jamal during their wedding. Her parents, who struggled to accept her religious shift, unfortunately did not attend the ceremony. So 3 years later, at 8:50 a.m. on July 7th, 2005, Jermaine Lindsay took his own life in a coordinated attack on a train between King's Cross and Russell Square tube stations that resulted in the death of 26 other passengers. Now, at the time, Samantha was also 8 months pregnant with their second child, that was a daughter, and their first child, a son, was 14 months old at the time. 6 days following the incident, Samantha called the helpline that had been established for families of those who were affected by the tragedy to report that her husband was missing. She stated that she had no idea about his actions and proceeded to make a public statement. I completely reject and I'm shocked by what happened. I am Jermaine Lindsay's wife and never could have guessed or imagined that he would be involved in such a terrible act. He was a loving husband and father. I'm still trying to understand everything. My life has collapsed, and my sympathy is with all the families that have been affected by this heartbreaking event. End quote. Following threats to her safety, she was moved to a secure location under police protection after someone had attempted to set her house on fire. During the inquest into the events of the attack, it came out that she had been in contact with one Mohammed Siddiq Khan, who was considered the key figure behind the London bomb. And so in September of 2005, Samantha faced public criticism for selling her account of the story to a newspaper where she portrayed herself as someone who had been manipulated and claimed that her husband was a recent convert who had been misled by others. And so she was paid £30,000 for the story. However, this portrayal conflicted with what Lindsay's sister had said, that he had embraced Islam at the age of 15. Families of those who were also affected by the attack were not convinced by the version that Samantha sold to the newspaper, which relayed the events, feeling that her effort to share responsibility with others distracted from the fact that innocent people had lost their lives. So the Yorkshire Post pointed out that although she had not broken the law by sharing her story, it went against the moral exception or expectation that individuals should not benefit from stories linked to criminal actions. And so in a 2013 report by the Daily Telegraph, it was believed that Samantha had met and married Habib Saleh Ghani, who had been born in Hounslow in London in the year 1985. Ghani, also known as Abu Osama al-Pakistani, first moved to Kenya in the year 2007, where his mother was originally from. His father had moved to Britain from Pakistan. Ghani had known Asif Muhammad Hanif. That was the one who carried out an attack in Tel Aviv in the year 2003. Now, Hanif had been linked to the recruitment activities connected to Damascus, that's in Syria. And so in the year 2009, Samantha had a third child, although the identity of the father was not listed on the birth certificate. She reportedly relocated to northern England before vanishing with her children, with whom some were suggesting that she may have been hiding in Tanzania or Somalia. So a later report cast doubt on whether she had actually even married Ghani, quoting Kenyan anti-terror police who said that there was no romantic connection between the two, and instead they were rather part of the same group located in Mombasa that was planning incidents around December 2011. Then in May 2014, another report from the Daily Mirror claimed that she had married Hassan Malim Ibrahim. He is a high-ranking figure, or was a high-ranking figure, in the Al-Shabaab network. And so in February 2012, Kenyan anti-terrorism officers issued a warrant for the arrest of a woman that was using the alias Natalie Faye Webb. Now, she was traveling on a passport obtained under false pretenses. And so authorities, after their coordination with the Scotland Yard, determined the woman was using at least 3 identities. That was including her real one, Samantha Louise. She was traveling with 3 children, and she was linked to a group that was planning retaliatory attacks in Kenya for actions that were taken in Somalia. The image that was forged in the passport closely resembled Samantha. And so the Kenyan officials said that we don't consider her a minor player. She is one of several British nationals under our intelligence review for possible involvement in plots against us, end quote. They tracked her entry into Kenya using the false passport in November 2011 and noted her connection to others that were already under surveillance in Mombasa. Now, the real Natalie Webb was identified as a British nurse whose identity had been stolen. And so the investigators from the UK Counter-Terrorism Command had to travel all the way to Nairobi to help search for Samantha. And initially, the police said that they couldn't confirm the woman's identity until she was in custody. although her name was in their records, and that she had been traveling with children. And so Samantha's father said, I can't believe she would be mixed up in something like this, especially with the children. We haven't had contact with her for quite some time, and I don't know where she is. Kenya's government spokesperson by name Alfred Mutua stated that she was believed to have supported violent networks, possibly by providing money and arranging safe houses and also transporting individuals. And so, upon findings from the official records, they showed that she had entered Kenya multiple times from Tanzania in 2011, and there she lived in an apartment linked to the former spouse of a known financier by name Musa Hussein Abdi. Now, Abdi had been eliminated along with another key figure by name Fazul Abdullah Mohammed near Mogadishu in June 2011. Now, both of them were tied to significant financial support of certain extremist activities. And due to renewed interest in Samantha's actions in 2013, the Minister for Home Affairs in South Africa by name Naledi Pandor confirmed that the passport under the name Natalie Webb had been fraudulently issued using birth documents in that name. The document was issued in Durban and had been blacklisted in the year 2011. It was discovered that Samantha, using that identity, worked in IT at a meat processing plant in Johannesburg. She has stayed in rental properties in 2 different areas of the city. Financial records showed that she had accumulated several unpaid debts through bank loans and credit accounts, including money owed to First Rand Bank and Standard Bank. She had a 4th child, a daughter, at a private clinic in Johannesburg in July 2010. She used the name Asma Shahida Bint Andrews and only registered with the clinic late in the pregnancy. Investigators believe that the father was Abdi Wahid, and he happened to be a former member of Kenya's Navy who later joined a violent network. And so, in December 2011, a man by name Jermaine Grant was arrested in Mombasa. He was a 29-year-old British citizen from London using a forged Canadian passport under the name Peter Joseph. So he was charged with having materials for making explosive devices and preparing to carry out certain unlawful acts. Now, the police later raided the apartment associated with Samantha, but she had already escaped. The authorities believe that this group had been planning attacks in Mombasa during the holiday season, and during a questioning, Grant reportedly identified Samantha as the leader of the group. He was already known to authorities from an earlier 2008 arrest in a refugee camp while he had disguised himself in a head covering along with 2 other men who were allegedly on their way to meet with a senior extremist figure. And so the group had been freed hours later by armed individuals. And one of the other men, by name Saleh Ali Saleh Nabhan, was later eliminated in a 2009 US operation. The woman present at the time of the 2008 arrest, but not detained, was later confirmed by the authorities to be Samantha. In March 2012, it was revealed that both Samantha and Habib Saleh Ghani were under investigation by global intelligence teams that also included the CIA. They had rented a property that was near a luxury beach resort in Mombasa. And so Ghani used a forged Mozambique passport with the name Marco Costa, and he claimed that Samantha was his wife. A neighbor also described her as a private individual who attended religious gatherings regularly and did not allow her children to attend school. And upon discovery by the police, there were items at the property that included a laptop, ammunition, parts for weapons, triggering devices, and a photo of Samantha. The initial reports claimed that the laptop had been damaged and the hard drive had been removed, but later updates also suggested that some digital content had been recovered. The authorities stated that they were fully convinced that they were pursuing what would be Samantha, and also circulated an image to all border checkpoints. So they went ahead to find fingerprint matches that confirmed her identity. The United Kingdom government also warned that there were potential threats that were targeting areas commonly visited by tourists and the international residents. They would include hotels and shopping venues. And so Ghani was reportedly eliminated in southern Somalia in September 2013 during some internal disputes within the organization. He and another individual, that was an American national, were removed by members of the group who opposed supporters of one of their former leaders. And so the operation was believed to have been ordered by Mokhtar Ali Zubair. Mokhtar Ali Zubair, he at the time was the head of the group. And so in October 2013, the Kenyan police retrieved a laptop and a flash drive that believed to belong to Samantha. Now, the reports indicated that she had accessed materials related to making, as well as personal care content. And among the files was a document titled the Mujahideen Explosives Handbook and a poem believed to be written by her, showing admiration for the group's former leader. And so on January 4th, 2012, Kenyan authorities formally issued a warrant against Samantha for the possession of bomb tools and plotting to use them to cause very serious harm. The charges were publicly confirmed in May that year. And so the prosecutors revealed that the group had been days away from carrying out an attack, possibly targeting a hotel or a public space. Grant had told the police, there's someone even more significant you are looking for. She's the one handling the money. Interpol had to then issue a global notice in March 2012 requesting her arrest and the return to Kenya. And then in April 2019, Grant was found guilty of possessing bomb materials, but he was not convicted of conspiracy. In July 2012, Samantha was named in relation to a incident at a bar in Mombasa during a televised sports event. A woman resembling her was seen near the location before the explosion that resulted in several injuries and loss of lives. Authorities believed she was involved. She was also linked to the 2013 incident at the Westgate Shopping Center in Nairobi, in Kenya, though no official confirmation tied her to the planning or execution. Officials from the UK were cautious about confirming her involvement, and the group even behind the attack stated that no women were part of the operation. And so it went all the way into October that year, where Kenyan officials released the names of 4 individuals that were involved in the attack, none of whom was Samantha. Then later in June 2014, reports suggested that she may have been spotted in Kenya, escorted by armed personnel, possibly en route to a military area. However, authorities later clarified that the woman was in fact a Spanish tourist who had since returned home. Samantha had operated under several names, including Asmantara, Sherafiyah, and Sherafiyah Lewthwaite, Natalie Webb, Asma Shahida bint Andrews, and the nickname White Widow, which references both her racial background and her status following the passing of her first husband. As of February 2022, a family member stated she believed she may no longer be alive, while others in the security field have suggested she could still be in hiding, possibly in a secluded location in Somalia or Tanzania. At present, Samantha Louise Lewthwaite remains at large and is still on the wanted list of multiple international agencies, including Interpol and the CIA. A woman on the run. Who would imagine? Some say she's dead, others say she's still alive. Is she dead? Is she alive? These are the questions that still linger in the minds of many. International agencies still are keeping an eye out to see if indeed they'll be able to get her within their grip. But till then, the story of Samantha Louise Lewthwaite is one that comes with a dilemma. We don't know yet what the ending is going to be. Are they still putting together findings? Are people going to be able to tell if she's the one moving around in town? Where exactly is she in the world? Is she in Africa? Is she in Europe? No one knows. Thank you very much for staying with us all the way up to this point. My name has been Anakwesi. This has been book number 7, and I hope to see you the next time. A few things I'll need for you to do for me. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for all notifications on all the videos we are going to be uploading. Remember to like the video, drop a comment in the comment section, and share with a friend or family. See you next time.